Welcome. I'm Meredith. This is the Oasis Spiritual Empowerment Tarot. All about tarot, oracle, and empowering you. And recently I made a video on how I trim and edge my decks. And that just got me in the mood to keep modifying decks. And so I've had this particular deck. This is from the Creativity Oracle that I've been meaning to reback for basically since I bought it, because these are the backs or the fronts. Don't care for them. Love the artwork though. So, I've been working at it. It's a huge deck, and so far I've done this much of it. So I thought it might be nice to kind of share how I did it. I know a lot of people use contact paper. I didn't want to do that. Partly because I don't like the feel of contact paper. Partly because I feel it's a little more limited in terms of designs and things like that. So instead, what I went with was it's like craft or like journal paper. So you have you can buy them in individual sheets, or you can get them like in a pack like this. I don't know if you can kind of see. So really quickly, it doesn't take that long. I'm going to show you what I did, how I did it. So basically, I did this initially a different way. So I'm going to show you both ways. Oh, what am I looking? I want to try to find, might have been this one. Yeah, I mean, I guess it really doesn't matter. I think it was this one. So the first card I did a little differently because I measured exactly the size of the card and trimmed the paper out to be pretty precise. After that, though, I found the way that worked better for me was to just go a little bigger. So that's the way I've been doing it. And in fact, these are all the cards that are left to do. So you can see I cut them all out at once after I did that first card. So basically, I picked out the paper that I wanted for each card, and I lined them up and just cut around them and left a little bit of space. Okay, so that's step one. Then I flipped this over, so this is like my protective mat. So we'll just do one just to kind of show you. Now, the first card that I did, well, I should say, so I used Fabri Fix, also called Fabri Tac, same stuff. It's a little pricey as glue goes, but if you have like a Joann's by you, they have those buy one, or not even buy one, it's 50% off a regularly priced item coupons all the time. And then they have like like 25% off your total purchase, whatever, stuff like that. So you can save a lot of money that way. That's how I buy it. So I bought like 2 of these, and I think for 8 ounces, I feel like they were originally around $14 each. So I got one for, about $7. And then I got, I don't know, whatever percentage off my total was. And, I bought other stuff too. But so, you don't have to pay that full price. But anyway, I love this. Here's the thing with this particular glue. And I'm sure you can use other glues, but one of the reasons I picked it is because it's very flexible. So I wanted to, still have some flexibility with the cards. The other thing is it dries quickly, but not too quickly. So you still have time to move stuff around a little bit. So the first card I did, I just used my finger to spread out the glue. Works great, but it's very messy. And when you have more than one card, it's not really the best way. So since then, I switched to using paintbrushes. I will say they're kind of hard to clean. You gotta see, I still have some here. You gotta kind of wash it and then just like pull out the glue bits. It's kind of like pulling gum out. So you don't want to use like a really good paintbrush, but it works well for me. So now, basically, all I do is pull this off. I really coat the card. I start at the edges and get close, but not, too far, because I'm going to use the paintbrush anyway. And then I get that glue everywhere. And then take the paintbrush and I just first go toward the edge, because that's the biggest thing to me, for sure, is to make sure that those ends are really coated. Don't worry, I'm only doing this one card. I'm not gonna try to have you sit through, all the rest. That would be silly. But so we're just gonna brush along. Oh, and remember to like, share, and subscribe, and hit the bell so you get alerted when I post new videos. So I'm going to record like a bunch in a row today. So I'm going to be having a lot of new videos. Now it's all coated. Let me put this brush down. And then I just put the paper over it, turn it, and so you can slide it still. So you have like a quick minute before it totally hardens. Now, depending on how you do the glue, you may get a little overflow, and that's fine, because the other nice thing about this glue is you can just kind of rub it away. And as long as you get it before it dries, you can get it off all the way. Now, these cards are laminated, so it makes it easy. If you had a deck that was more papery, I would definitely recommend being a lot more precise with the glue, because I feel like it might discolor cardstock that's too papery, that doesn't have a coating. Potentially it could even like rip it a little bit. I don't know. This is my first time doing this, but yeah. So that's it. And then once I do those edges, I do take it and just kind of smush it out. I've just been doing it up on my knee to kind of, like that. But I mean, however you want to do it. But again, just to make sure all that's evenly distributed, there's no glue on the card. Make sure everything feels good. And that's it. Then I do a bunch of these at a time, and then I set them aside to dry. So then we have basically this, right? So let me cover my glue. So then the next step, once I have a bunch done and they're dry, then I trim them. Now, if you use like you could use an X-Acto knife. If you're good and comfortable with that, it would probably be a little more precise. I'm using fabric scissors. Now, I did try with the little fussy scissors. I thought these might be easier. Turns out they're not, at least not for me. So just going to kind of trim along. And what I do is I line up the scissor along the card, like you can feel it, like if you push up against it, you know, so you can see where you are. And then I just trim. And just like when I trim my decks, I'm going to err on the side of caution. So there's a little bit, we'll go back for it. It's okay. And there's a little bit here. So I'm trying to go kind of fast because I don't want to bore you. But yeah, and just like if you saw the previous video with the edging, what I do is I use the scissors to kind of create that straight line and push, like I push with this hand up against the card so that I'm getting just a little, and hopefully it's just paper. Now I'll tell you, there were a couple times when I definitely nicked the edges, and these cards are gilded. I don't know if I mentioned that, if you can see it between the paper, but they are. You see it a little bit maybe. I like the gilding, but it's not a big deal to me for this deck. So I haven't been as careful with this as I could be. So I will show you. Well, actually, you don't need to really see me cut this whole thing, do you? Yeah, so I'm just going to go through and, again, just kind of get these. Well, you know what? I am going to show you because there's one more step. So let me just trim this up a little bit more. And it helps too if you have a different color, like this is white on white basically, so it's harder to see, but if you put it up against, you know, a different color, like I was doing it up against my pants because I'm wearing black pants, so that made it easier to see, just to get those little bits that might be left. All right, so then once I'm done with that, what I do is I take a nail file. You know, one side's like really rough and one side is a bit smoother. So I use that smoother side, you know, so it's a little finer. And I just kind of run against. Now, I don't necessarily do it for all of it. I still need to trim that a little bit. But just to show you, I'm looking for any bumps where maybe there was a little bit of glue or whatever. And that's what I'll just very gently file down. So these are the cards that I've finished so far. So you can see the gilding is not perfect by any means. You know, it's places where the glue got, or I filed too much or whatever, or I snipped it. That one definitely snipped. I don't mind. I kind of like it like that. I feel like the camera's not doing it justice. It looks prettier than I think what it does there. But I'm okay with it. I don't mind. But so this is the result of the cards that are done so far. And just to show you. So they are, like, they're definitely more stiff than they were. You know, like, so this was the before, you know, before it got back. So it's very, very flexible. Here, we still have some flex. So you can riffle shuffle. Now, this is a huge deck. It's a lot of cards. So the more cards, the harder it is to riffle. But, maybe I can't even do it with this whole stack. I have done it. Let's try maybe 3/4 and see. So I feel like if it was a tarot deck, you know, if it had fewer cards, it would be easier. So, I mean, you can do it. It's not gonna really bridge, though. Um, yeah. But I'm okay with that, and it overhands really nicely. So they're definitely, if you have a deck that's kind of flimsy and you don't care about the backs, this could be a really good solution. Or if you just really hate your backs. But I love using this craft paper or journal paper because, there's just so many more options. I feel like, I haven't done a comparison, but I feel like it's cheaper. Or it can be. Again, look for those coupons. This stuff is always on sale. And, I just do what I want to do. So, but I'm really happy with how these turned out. Like, look, if I was doing a reading and I was putting the backs down, now I went for a ton of different papers. Obviously, you don't have to, but I like it. And they sound nice, right? I don't know. I'm really tickled. I like the way it's coming out. And again, if you have gilded edges and you want to really preserve it, you can. You don't have to make a mess. I just didn't really care enough to fuss with it, and it's a big deck, and I just wanted to finish it. So I just wasn't that particular about it. And again, I kind of like it. Feels a little worn and vintagey now. So I like it. And this is a fabulous, fabulous deck. I love the artwork. I just really didn't like the backs, and I didn't feel the need for those messages. And sometimes, for me personally, they just didn't feel like the artwork, and it does have a book somewhere I have a book. So if I really wanted to get those messages, I could still do it. I just have to pull out the book. But yeah, so I just wanted to share in case you were interested in doing it. I'm sure there's somebody else who's done it using this type of paper, but I always hear about contact paper. So in case you wanted a different option, or if you're just curious as to how that different option might look, that's it. And again, it's super easy. I did it watching Rings of Power. So, it doesn't require a lot of attention. And it's fun, and it helps kind of make that deck more mine, which is always nice. So let me know what you think. Have you rebacked any of your decks? What's that been like? I do have a laminator coming that I'm going to test out. So much thanks to Sharon of Trio of Witches Tarot. Because if you miss this video, the Lux Prajna Tarot, I love so much. It's not really a tarot, not to me anyway. Beautiful, beautiful artwork. Terrible, thin cardstock. So, my laminator comes tomorrow. I'm going to test it out on a deck of playing cards, I think, first. And then I'm gonna do it. So, until next time, just be wonderful to yourself. Be really, really wonderful, because you deserve the best, only the best, all the best, and that is my wish for you.